Hi everybody, this is Jen from Cookies, Cupcakes, and Cardio.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make very simple cake balls, and they're perfect if you just want a bite-sized treat. So for this recipe, you have a lot of flexibility. Pretty much you can use whichever kind of cake you want, and what this is remnants of a sculpted cake. So this happens to be strawberry cake crumbs, and to make the crumbs, all you have to do is just take your whole cake or whatever you've got left over and just kind of crumble it up like that. To go with it, you're going to need probably about a cup to a cup and a half of icing, but again, you can be flexible on that. If you want more of a moist ball, then use more icing. If you want a little bit less, then just use less than a cup. You're also going to need some sort of either a melting wafer, baking chocolate, baking chocolate chips. You can even use any flavor because these will get melted down and will be used to coat the ball once you've rolled them. I just got a little bit of whipping cream here just to help with the melting process for the chocolate. So what you need to do first is make sure that all of your cake is nice and crumbly. You don't have any big giant crumbs. Even if you're using like a really moist cake, you also won't need too much icing because it's got a natural, it wants to hold together naturally. So you can see when I squeeze this, it's still, you could actually almost make balls out of this stuff. But just to make sure that it's going to stick together for the long run, I'm going to add in this icing here. And you get messy with this one, so be prepared. And make sure you have nice clean hands. So I'm just going to mix this all up completely and then wash my hands, and I'll be back to show you the final process. Okay, so the icing and the cake is all incorporated here, and I suggest that you use a nice big bowl because it does make quite a bit of a mess. Then what you're going to do is just select whatever size of a cake ball that you'd want, making aware that you're going to be adding a coating with the chocolate, so it's going to be a little bit bigger. So that's probably on the big side. So I'm going to take about 1 inch, which will make about 1 inch of the size of a cake for the ball. And just roll it up just like that, place it on your tray. And again, like depending on how much cake crumbs you use and the combination with the icing will depend on how many balls this actually will create. If you roll smaller balls, you'll have more. And if you roll bigger balls, obviously you will have less of your final product. So if you've ever made cake pops, it's exactly like making that. We've got a video up on cake pops too. So check that out if you're interested. Cake balls are very similar, just pretty much without the lollipop stick. So I'm just going to keep rolling and fill up my tray. The trick to, after you've got all of your balls rolled, is to freeze them or to put them into the fridge. I like putting them in the freezer because that makes them solid, probably for about half an hour. And then during that time, I'll melt the chocolate and we'll show you that part. And then we'll roll the balls in the chocolate and we will have created some cake balls. So I'm just going to finish rolling these. Then I'm going to put them into the freezer for half an hour. And at that point, we'll bring them back out and show you what the next step is with the chocolate. So we've had the cake balls in the freezer now for about 30 minutes. And what I'm going to do now is melt the chocolate. Remember that whenever you're melting chocolate, you want to do it slowly, and I'm going to use the microwave, so I'm going to start at 1 minute intervals at 50% power, and then I'm gradually going to decrease the amount of time, and you want to make sure you're stirring it in between each interval that you've got it in the microwave because you don't want to scald the chocolate. If the chocolate ends up being a little bit too thick, I will add a little bit of the whipping cream, but probably won't need that. So yeah, I'll be right back after I've got the chocolate melted and I'll show you how to cover the cake balls. So I've melted the white chocolate here, and all you need to do now is to drop one of the balls into the white chocolate, roll it around, and then when it's ready to come out, when it's all covered, you can place it up here on this cooling rack like I have done with a couple of these other ones. And what that does is just allows the chocolate underneath to drip off instead of creating that little foot that you might have seen on some chocolate balls or anything like that. But I'll just show you, if you don't have a cooling rack like that, all you can just do is just standard right on your baking tray or on any piece of wax paper you can just place them onto that. So I'm going to cover all of these cake balls, and then what I'm going to do is allow them to solidify, and then I'm going to do some decorations. If you don't want to do the second step by decorating them and whatnot, but you want something like sprinkles or something on there, or cookie crumbs, or you can even put some of your original cake crumbs back onto the top for decorating, all you do is before the chocolate solidifies is just sprinkle those on top. But I'm going to show you some quick and easy ways to decorate the cake balls using any tools that you will have at home. And I'm going to melt some dark chocolate as well. And when I've got that done and these are solidified, we'll be right back to show you how to finish off the cake balls. So the cake balls that are covered in chocolate, I've had them put them back in the freezer for about 5 minutes just to solidify the solidify the chocolate on the top. And I've just melted some more milk chocolate just to do some swirl work. So if you've got a piping tip like this, I'm using pipe number 2 or tip number 2, and I just put it in a regular piping bag. And if you don't, I'll show you another quick way to do this in just a second. So I'm just going to make some swirl patterns on here. So you can decorate it however you want to with this dark chocolate. And then, if you don't have a piping bag, what you can do is with your leftover white chocolate, you can just put it into a regular Ziploc bag. That's what I've got it in here. And then, using your scissors, just snip off a tiny bit of the tip here. And then you just want to kind of press your chocolate all into that corner that you snipped off. And then this kind of acts like a tip. You don't have as much control of it as you would if it was an actual tip, but I'm just going to go back and forth here, and then and that's kind of like the monochromatic look. And then I'm going to add some embellishments with some dragées, and just using regular set of tweezers. I'm going to decorate this before the chocolate hardens up. But you can really, the possibilities are endless. You can theme them with any party that you're having. They're relatively quick. There's a lot of waiting that goes on, but there's not a lot of prep or anything like that. So I'm just going to keep decorating these. And I will plate these up when we've got them decorated completely, and I'll show you the finished product. So there you have it, everybody. That's the finished product of the cake balls. So we started with cake crumbs, rolled them in melted chocolate, and then added a little finishing touches on top just to make them a little bit prettier. You can find us on Google+, Twitter, Facebook. Thanks for watching, everybody, and remember to subscribe to our channel.